Recording in progress. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we continue with our next lab. This is another installation. So in this lab, we want to install Spark on top of our Hadoop ecosystem. So most of your project would be done through Spark. This is a local installation. Also, later on we work with a cluster. Over cloud, this is much easier. But if you want to work in a group of 2 or 3, you need to have 2 environments for your Spark. One could be a local installation like here. Another one could be just a cloud instance Spark ecosystem. By the way, so some of you face problems. So actually any updates, any changes in either Windows, Hadoop, or Spark could cause some incompatibility. For example, in my last office hours, one of your friends had issues. We couldn't install Hadoop and Spark because several errors. It turns out to be your Windows username shouldn't have space in it. For example, let's say Abbas Ali. So he has Abbas, then a space Ali. So there's a space between Abbas and Ali. So if it's his username for the system, he cannot run Hadoop. This is like an internal something internal to Windows. So other than that, I've tested this installation several times on different computers, and all of them run. So I'm pretty sure the Hadoop is very compatible, Java Hadoop. If you see any issues, probably comes from your system. There is some adjustment on your system. So the best way, just Google it. So you might see some specific error. You might Google, and most likely other people had the same problem. For your friend, just after 1 hour, we just Googled it and found a very easy solution for that. Okay, so in order to have a Spark environment, please click on this link. When you click, just follow the exact version. So for Spark release, please pick 3.1.2. Also, it should be user provide Apache Hadoop because we already have Hadoop. And then click on this blue link, Spark 3.1.2, being without Hadoop TGZ. Let me click on it, show it to you. I copy it here. (3.12) user provide Hadoop. Okay, I think my internet is a little slow. Do you guys get this error from website, or you can download it? Yeah, my system gets some. Okay, 3. Okay, so then click on this blue link, and then click on the first link here. Okay, so the next step is pretty similar to previous one. Copy it, make a folder in your C drive with the name of Spark, then decompress the file that you just downloaded and just put everything into that Spark. Yeah, give me a few minutes to do that. So maybe 3 or 4 minutes because it might take a little bit more time.
We need to create a Spark folder.
Yes. So look at my Spark folder. Inside your Spark folder, you should have these files and folders. Yeah, okay.
This is for the last. And if this the numbers.
Yeah, if it's two for today, otherwise you would be behind. So okay, the second thing that I recommend to install it, you don't have to, but is Anaconda. So most of you have experience with working with Jupyter and Anaconda. So in the Google, search for Anaconda download. It is a very good environment for working with Python codes. And just click on Windows version. So just if there's a Mac or there's other installers too. So download and just leave as default and just next, and have Anaconda ready on your system. So if you already have Anaconda in your system, like me, you don't have to install it. So this is the Anaconda environment. Is there anyone here never had experience working with Jupyter Notebook? And most likely in your Python course you had. So the goal is we connect our PySpark to the Jupyter Notebook. So instead of typing directly inside the Spark, you type inside Jupyter Notebook, but your Jupyter Notebook is connected to the Spark engine. So you type in the Jupyter Notebook, but under the hood, the remaining processes is under the PySpark environment or Spark engine. Let's get started. If it's hard to install Anaconda today, you don't have to, but it's better to have it. So you have some more comfort later if you want to work with the Jupyter Notebook and Anaconda. So again, later on, we work with the free version of Spark on a cloud, but last semester I have some experience. So it's a free service. Sometimes they disconnect. But if you have an instance of your system, you can just run anytime that you like. So you are not limited to their service. So even last semester, I canceled class twice because they didn't provide the service. So I wanted to teach in the class, but it was no service, so we couldn't. But so those are like those free services always has some issues. But if you have on your own system, you don't have any conflict. So do you guys still installing Anaconda? Is there anyone still installing? Yeah, okay, no. I will do a little bit more. And actually, we do it later on. So today, we connect our Jupyter Notebook to local instance of Spark engine. Later, we set up Hadoop ecosystem over Amazon AWS, and you connect that engine to your Jupyter Notebook. So basically, you don't do anything over Amazon. You just do your code on your system, and your Jupyter Notebook, since it's already connected to Amazon, you can run the codes. Even later on, so the Amazon instance is built over Linux. So in order to send code back and forth, you still need to have PuTTY. So in last week, we used PuTTY to upload the codes inside the virtual environment. Maybe in a few weeks, we learned how to use PuTTY to send the code over Amazon server. And I think if you're saw my email, these are some skills that is very hard to learn outside. So if you do such a thing over your local PC, over a cloud, so you would be very comfortable working on later on. So these are some skills that are very helpful, but still, no worries if you struggle too much. So your project would be I teach you some like cloud platform that is much easier.
Yeah, those stuff just essentially environment variables. So it's like something. Okay. Yes, Professor. So here I add a new comment like start this class of this right, and I just use the variable value of the copy from.
Yeah, this is available.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Okay, same as before. We need to add environment variable, and this environment variable just for letting your system know where is your Spark. So as you see, make a new go to environment variable, make a new variable. The name of variable is Spark _ home, and just look at the lowercase uppercase thing, and you create C/Spark. So environment variables, Spark home. So again, if you forget, just click on new. Here, variable name is Spark _ home, and value is C/Spark. And after you create, just OK, and be sure that it's here. Okay. The next one, we make this new variable. So it's Spark this class path. It just provides several addresses associated to a variable name. So if you look at model, do you see I provide some codes.txt? Just download and open it. Okay, so first is Spark underline this underline class path. Just copy environment variable, make it new, and just paste it here. Then copy hold the second line. Yes, in everything. Right click copy. Then put the code here. So please show if you don't have any extra space here and there, because if the address is a little different, your Spark would be messed up. This code. Yeah. So model codes.txt. Yeah, click press OK and have this environment variable here. So when I click edit on it, you see there is several addresses associated to variable. If you look at the addresses, it seems I'm telling Spark to look at some folders on Hadoop, over Hadoop. So basically, we are introducing Hadoop, Spark, and your own PC to each other. So the introduction is through the addresses and the variable names that we provide. Any questions? Yeah, second line, just copy everything. So look. All of it here. So now if you look at my environment variable, next to Spark underline this underline class path, there's huge address. If I click on edit, you can see all of those addresses. Or you can double click. The next, click on path and add this new address. See, pardon me? You need me? Okay. So make this new environment, put this address into your path variable.
You need to reset your system. No worries. I'm not sure. So maybe we need to get it taken. That's true. Okay, so again, go path. So see, I go to environment, path, edit, see a Spark bin. So this address should be there. So no worries, later on it just gets easier and easier. So next time when we work with the Amazon AWS, it's much easier because we already did something similar twice. One with the virtual environment and the one with local PC. So when we get to Amazon AWS, actually I teach much less because I'm pretty sure that makes more sense for you. Okay, so you might remember in the previous class, I went to some files and I said you can open and change the configuration. Here, for Spark, I already did for you. So on model, there is a conf.zip. Please download and unzip it. So if you unzip it, you see there is several files here. So just right click, copy. Then if you see the addresses, you should go see Spark conf, right click and just paste and replace with the current. No, don't delete, just replace. Just yeah. I think you can delete them. You're right, but I don't want to risk that because I should count how many files. Maybe there's one less or more. So, but probably you're right. So I just opened one of them. So you see there is some addresses. So I changed them. Like for example, this log file. I just went and make them ready for your Spark. Because based on my experience, sometimes when you copy paste in the configuration files, maybe you have, even with the one space here and there, you might get errors. So I just try to have it already ready so you won't have these difficulties. So as you see, if you just open some of them randomly, they are just talking about some addresses, like where is your server, where is your name node, where is your HTFS file. So these are the things that I changed in this configuration files. In some tutorials, if you look at online, they ask you to open them and copy and paste some files. So it's copy and paste some addresses, but you don't have to because you already have a ready file. Okay, so if you did all of these steps, now your Spark, Hadoop, and PC are synced. Just open your command prompt
Please do it, run it as administrator. And here just a PySpark. Look, it's just saying, okay, I'm Python 3.95. Okay, just do some sample Python coding. For example, I put it here, I want to make it a tuple of weekdays, and then I just want to print them. You don't have to do these codes. Any code should be fine. Yes?
Yeah, same
Microsoft Store.
Yeah, and you let me to download the. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't have. Do you? So do you already have Python there?
No, but we have Anaconda. Yeah, we had installed Python in previous class.
Okay. No, that was. I think you didn't have that philosophy. You had business intelligence with me. Probably you had Python programming other course. But okay, so let's see what can you do. Eventually we go to Anaconda, but just let's have my experience. So please download and install Python. Just go to Python website and just when we go, just download Python. So your command in your programs, do you have Python here? So let me see. Do you have something like Python folder on your programs?
This program can be any disk, right?
CD or?
Can this Python 3.9 folder in any disk? See?
I think any of this should be fine. So, but do you have it?
No, I just download Anaconda and Python.
So if you go to programs, do you see the Python program?
Anaconda?
So you don't see Python.
Yeah.
Okay, so download and install Python. And let's just do it in C drive to just be safe. So this is Python. Just download and install it. Eventually, we don't use it, but I want you guys to have my experience. So, but again, no worries. So later we just work with the Anaconda. We don't work with that. So just look. So while you are trying to install Python, look at PySpark. For example, print hello world. Okay, typo. Okay, yes. So working in this black and white environment is not that much fun. So later, I show you how to work with the Jupyter Notebook, but maybe it's, in case you want, just have a separate installation of Python on your system.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yeah.
Ask a question.
Sure.
So what does add Python 3.1 mean? Yes. I choose the Python automatic. I just don't want to.
But you know what? Even if you cannot do it, so it's not that strict function. Because it's not even comfortable working with Python directly. Yes. Oh, okay. Let's see. What I assume, because I didn't install it from the Microsoft Store, it might be a little different. But is there any of you could get this black page? Could you get it? You go to Microsoft Store?
Yes.
What about you? I think that I install it separately, not from Microsoft Store. I install it from here, python.org, but no worries. This is not even good. So in the next step, I want just connect your Jupyter notebook from Anaconda to your Spark environment. So go to environment variables and make these two new variables. So PySpark driver Python and PySpark driver Python OPTS to notebook. So if you see my environment variables,
Still fail. Or maybe I should follow the download 3.1. Why? Okay.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's one.
It works for you? You see that black page?
Yeah.
Okay, at least one of you works. So how you do that?
Yeah, I just download the Microsoft Store.
Okay. This is what you can do some code, but you can start that from comfortable.
Maybe I should follow the Microsoft. I just download from Microsoft.
Okay, so I didn't download from Microsoft Store, but I had that page, and your friend did from Microsoft Store. So both of us see that black page, but again, that's not that much important. So Newton, I should see your computer. The error that you sent me is very general. Please come to my office hours so I can see that. So you get the same error? Okay, let's see. So there's the address issue. You cannot get your address. Check your environment variables in show. Yeah, I don't see some of your variables. You just have this one. You don't have the other one. There's another address should be here. Open your path. Open your path. Let me see if you have. You have it here. So, oh, there's an issue. You don't have address there, right? So because there is some addresses working together, might be that. But when you see it cannot read, just means there is an address missing. So let me show you on my system. So you can find it in your slides, but look, I have a Spark Home, but you don't have it. So you think if it's your problem is same as your friend, she forgot to put a Spark Home address here. So that error that you sent me is very general address. It just means that you have issues with your addresses. Your system cannot find some files. It just means that. But since I don't have your PC, it's hard for me to see which address you have problem. Okay, next step, I want to connect my Jupyter into a Spark. So we should introduce where is the Python driver for Spark. So as you see, I have a new variable here. Let me show you. So my variable here is PySpark driver underline Python, and I said Jupyter. Okay. The second one, PySpark driver Python OPTS and notebook. Okay. I put the comments here. You can copy and paste. Okay, now they should be introduced to each other. So this time, when I open command prompt, let's look here. Now I put PySpark. Now I have a Jupyter notebook. But this Jupyter notebook is different from your Anaconda Jupyter notebook. Your Anaconda Jupyter notebook is over your local Python engine. This one is over your Hadoop or Spark Python engine. So they just have different engines. So you can make a new. I can just keep coding here, but just keep him. Let me tell you two things. First of all, here is over Spark environment. So you need to some way know how to send your files into Hadoop, which in one of your sessions I show you a copy local, copy from local, and we send that over Hadoop ecosystem. So then you should, I teach you later on, but basically here, let's say I want to work on the data set. I should say, okay, this is the address and read .csv. So it reads a CSV file or Excel files. But if you don't need any file, or if you don't want to install anything, you can just do some simple coding. Or I put some codes here. Yeah, I think I had a typo somewhere. Oh, okay, there is a font issue, so look, this time it gives me error because it just says it's not double quotation. I should change it and type it by myself. So I'm just changing this. Yeah, now it works. Okay, so things. Look at your command prompt. Do you see it said localhost 888 token address? This is basically just connect your Jupyter notebook into your Spark Python engine, or let's call it PySpark. I think it's more. So if I copy this address and just paste it somewhere, it just get to my Jupyter notebook. Yeah, I saw your hand. So you will see exactly similar thing in AWS. So in AWS, we run we use command prompt, we connect to AWS. And in order to connect your Jupyter notebook to AWS PySpark engine, you need to copy an address like this and just paste it in your browser. So it has a localhost 888, a token address. When you work with Amazon AWS, instead of localhost, it would be aws.amazon.com. So localhost just means a server which is on your local computer, or a host on your local computer. If it's Amazon, the server is over Amazon Web Server. Okay. Yes, this is something you will. But I teach you another way. It should be right. But I assume some settings windows doesn't let them. Let's just be a way, teach you another way. That could be easier than this. So one of the things of the error, so although he put the address, the computer couldn't find Jupyter.
Yes.
I assume that the way that you install Anaconda should be different from me, but there is another way. So go over open your Anaconda. do you guys could when you type PySpark, do you get the Jupyter Notebook? You couldn't get to? Okay. And let me exit this page. Let me just close. So here, just go inside your Anaconda and run Jupyter. And do you have Hadoop on your system? Do you have Hadoop? Hadoop.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is my Jupyter, right? I just run it through Anaconda. Press and new Python 3. Okay. Now there's another way that you can connect your Jupyter Notebook to the Hadoop. So look at my code. So I put this command: import find Spark and find Spark.init. Oh, where is that? Just type this. So here, import find Spark. Find Spark init. This is another way that you can connect your Jupyter Notebook into your Spark. But, okay, so let me think, what can you do? For the next, just try it at your home, uninstall your Python and Jupyter Notebook, then install Python from this website, from python.org, then install your Jupyter Notebook. Let's see if you can reach or not. If you can't, at least one of you see me in office hours, I work with your computer. So maybe my version is a little older than you. This might be the design. The way that it thinks it is a little different, but I should see your systems. Other than that, it's very ambiguous because I installed it like maybe 2 weeks ago, so it's not very old. So, but I check with your system. At least one of you come to my office hours, so hopefully we can figure it out.
There's no module name, but
so pip install PySpark. So go over your here environment base root and open terminal. So in Anaconda, go to environment base root and open terminal.
open terminal.
Pip install find it. I already have it, so but when you type it, you should get some installation commands, something like that. Do it again. If it doesn't work, close your Anaconda and open it again.
No.
It works? Okay.
Yes, collecting PySpark.
Okay. But, okay. I think it's very common issue that you guys have. So if one of you can figure out how to fix it. So when you type PySpark, your Jupyter Notebook should open automatically. I think is a proper way of doing that. So let's see if we can find it. Otherwise, please, I will be on campus on Friday. Maybe at least one of you can come and I check with your system, see the issue. Still, the issue should be very easy. There is an address issue or somewhere they don't match. It's not a big problem at the end. So when we install Find Spark package, that package just try to search where is the Spark on your system. So again, this function is based just searching your own PC, but I think later you might face more difficulties. It's better to figure out how you get such a page. So when I type PySpark here, it just automatically connects to my local Spark server. But no worries, I think we can easily figure it out. So at least I need to see one of your PCs in my office hours. So I work with you guys, and hopefully we can easily find why one of your addresses doesn't match.
Okay. So just I open Anaconda.
Find this.
Yeah. Okay, you already have. I already find it in PySpark. Yeah, just go to. Check it out. No, just go to home. Yeah, go to home. Oh, it's, yeah. Sure. Okay, so I run to administrate your command. Actually, see one of your system. I think the way. So do you guys install Anaconda in another folder, or all of you install on C? Anaconda in another folder, not C. So whatever you guys do, you install on C. Okay. So this is one of the come to my office hours on Friday. So it seems to be the same thing, but again, at the end, you can just run this package. But I want to do it in the proper way. This is an easier way. So I need to look at your PC maybe for half an hour or 1 hour. So I just want to check the addresses one by one to see which address is not working. And I'm pretty sure that you guys all have the addresses correct. So I'm pretty sure you did this part right. So if it doesn't match, I think the issue is about the different way of installing Anaconda or Python. So these two addresses doesn't match to each other. So let's do it. So make your C a little lighter and install Python, also Anaconda on your C drive. Okay, let's look at the last slide. So if you want to work with the AWS or local installation, do you see? So one step, I have a Spark session, and I made an app name. You might remember I talked about the different styles of having name node and data node. And I said there is an application name. This is the application name here. So it just means maybe I'm using that cluster. Cluster just means name node and data nodes. Maybe I'm running several applications. So for each application, I define a name. So sometimes your application takes, like, let's say 2 hours. So if you have an application name, later you can check about the progress of your application. But if it's just one application, if it runs quickly, you even never check it, because before you check it, just finishes. But this is, and this is second. So as you see, it's like Python. I import some packages. I have an application name. So here is extra. And also there's an address on my Hadoop, which I read my file, and with print schema, I'm just seeing the structure of my data. So we have such experiments later. Still, I think with find Spark package, you can do it. But let me check your system. So hopefully we can just find what's wrong with the addresses.
Any questions? You might have several questions, but we just work it out. Okay, so do this. So before the next class, please Google and try different things to see if you can run your Jupyter directly without running. And at least one of you be a volunteer to come to my office so I check your system to see. And it's a really good thing because I mean, next semester I teach to your new friends, so they don't see the issue. We didn't have it last semester, so it even could be updating Windows. So because we did exactly the same thing last semester, no, all of the students could have it with exact same instructions. So, but again, no worries. I mean, we can check it, and hopefully there's no issue. Okay, so if there is no question for now, I think it's enough. If I start teaching these codes, might be a little overwhelming for you, and also still we want to figure out how to directly connect PySpark. But let me just finish for today and have our attendance. Even also, some of you never show up in the class. This is it's not an online class. Although you submit some project report, but your absence shouldn't be for the majority of the class. Otherwise, you might have issue for your attendance credit. Okay, let me stop share.